Many people believe we're trapped in an old myth, that we only use 10% of our brain. It's a belief that has spread over time, almost as if it were a universal truth, but the reality is far more complex. Imagine for a moment the vast possibilities that open up when we realize that every part of the brain, no matter how small, plays an essential role in our consciousness and existence. The human brain, this fascinating network of connections, works at full capacity, even when we're at rest. Every cell, every synapse, works in mysterious ways, weaving thoughts, memories, and emotions. The 10% myth casts a shadow over the immense potential we actually have. What if, instead of being limited, we're just beginning to scratch the surface of this inner power? This misconception dates back to misunderstandings about the areas of the brain that were still unexplored by science. In early studies, less understood regions were seen as inactive, but over time, we realized that, in fact, everything is in motion. It's like a sleeping city, ready to awaken at any moment. And once it does, what might we discover about ourselves? It's not about quantity, but quality. We use 100% of our brain, though not always in ways we expect. The real question isn't whether we're limited, but whether we're fully tapping into what's available to us. Are we ready for that discovery? Perhaps the next step is understanding what fuels this incredible brain activity. The importance of glial cells. For a long time, glial cells were seen as nothing more than silent sidekicks in the vast landscape of the brain. However, these cells play roles far beyond mere support. They're like the invisible infrastructure of a vibrant city, keeping everything running smoothly without us realizing their importance, until something goes wrong. They're not just the foundation, they're the bedrock upon which the entire nervous system thrives. As we delve deeper into the study of glial cells, we see their function extends well beyond support. They actively participate in neural communication, regulating electrical impulses and even influencing neuron behavior. They're both guardians and messengers, ensuring that the flow of information is precise and consistent. It's fascinating to think that what seems secondary actually holds the power to shape how the mind functions. These once underestimated cells can activate, inhibit, and even direct neuron activity. They control the rhythm of the brain's dance, like invisible conductors setting the pace and intensity with which our thoughts and emotions unfold. Through them, signals move with precision, ensuring that everything happens in harmony. What more might we uncover by looking more closely at these structures that seem to have so much to reveal? When we start to see glial cells through this new lens, we realize that we're only scratching the surface of their true importance. They are part of the mystery surrounding the human brain and its incredible capacity for adaptation and change. What other secrets might these cells hold? Perhaps they are the key to understanding what remains hidden about how the mind works. Neurons and glial cells, a dynamic duo. Neurons are often seen as the stars of the mind, transmitting electrical impulses that bring our thoughts, actions, and emotions to life. However, they don't work alone. Behind every electrical spark, there's a complex, invisible support network, glial cells, that keep things balanced and in order. Imagine them as two dancers in perfect harmony, where one leads, but the other sets the pace. Neurons, with their fast communication abilities, are like agile messengers, delivering information between different regions of the brain. But without glial cells to support, nourish, and guide them, this communication would be chaotic. Glial cells ensure that every signal is received, interpreted, and transmitted accurately. This collaboration keeps the brain functioning like a finely tuned orchestra, where every element plays an essential role. Their symbiotic relationship goes beyond mere physical support. Glial cells play a crucial role in brain health and plasticity, enabling the brain to adapt and evolve. They help clean up waste, repair damage, and even facilitate the growth of new neurons. Without them, the brain's incredible ability to reshape itself, learn, and heal would be severely compromised. They're the silent guardians of our mental potential. It's fascinating to think that the interaction between neurons and glial cells isn't just a matter of biology but a powerful example of how deep cooperation can lead to something greater than the sum of its parts. What more can we discover from this dynamic interplay? Perhaps, by better understanding this partnership, we'll unlock some of the brain's most intimate secrets. The dance of the brain hemispheres. Inside our minds, there's a constant symphony, the interaction between the right and left hemispheres of the brain. Each one has its own characteristics, strengths, and subtle influence over how we experience and perceive the world. The left hemisphere, the logical and analytical side, is like a calculated conductor, precisely leading the notes of reason and language. Meanwhile, the right hemisphere moves to a different beat, more fluid and intuitive. It engages us with emotions, creativity, and spatial awareness, like an artist painting with the colors of imagination and sensitivity. Together, these hemispheres form an essential duo for a complete human experience, balancing reasoning with emotion, logic with instinct. The synchronicity between the hemispheres is crucial but often overlooked. Simple actions, like crossing your arms or alternating sides during movements, can stimulate this collaboration. It's as if we're tuning the internal rhythm of a song we don't always hear but that influences every aspect of our lives. The balance between these two sides is more than just a matter of brain function, it's a subtle dance that affects how we navigate the world. What if we knew that simple activities could harmonize this interaction? What more could we unlock in our minds by allowing these two sides to collaborate more fluidly and consciously? Perhaps the secret lies in tuning these opposites, and when they are finally aligned, they could help us reach a new level of understanding and action. Brain dominance and the cycle of life. Around the age of 7 or 8, something subtle begins to emerge: brain dominance. At this point in life, one hemisphere starts to have a slight influence over our decisions and perceptions. It's as if one side of the brain begins to hum a little louder, shaping how we see and interact with the world. However, this dominance isn't fixed, it fluctuates and follows us throughout life. During the day, there are moments when one hemisphere takes control, only to step aside and let the other take over shortly after. It's an internal dance that goes unnoticed by most, yet it influences our choices, from what we eat to how we interpret a conversation. These shifts may be subtle, but they have a profound impact on our mental well-being. In each one, there's an opportunity for growth and balance. This alternation between hemispheres isn't something to fear, but rather something to celebrate. The synchronicity between them gives us the ability to think holistically, blending both logic and intuition. In every moment of decision, it's as if the two hemispheres are conversing, offering different perspectives so we can choose the best path forward. This internal dialogue is what makes us complex and adaptable beings. What if we learn to tune into this silent conversation between the hemispheres? Over the course of life, this interaction becomes more refined, allowing us to tap into parts of ourselves that were once dormant. Perhaps the key to making wiser decisions lies in the harmony between these two internal forces, always in motion, always evolving. Practical applications of brain synchronization. The synchronization between the brain's hemispheres isn't just an abstract concept, there are simple practices that can activate and enhance this collaboration. Conscious breathing and meditation, for example, are like keys that unlock inner doors, allowing the hemispheres to align in harmony. When we breathe deeply, we're feeding that invisible connection, letting our body and mind work together in perfect sync. Cross-body movements, like simply crossing your arms or legs, can also help integrate the hemispheres. These small, Automatic gestures actually stimulate communication between the left and right sides of the brain. It's as if we're connecting internal bridges, allowing creativity and logic to meet in a common space, unlocking new ways of thinking and acting. Creative activities like art or music play a vital role in this process too. When we immerse ourselves in painting or the sound of an instrument, we engage both hemispheres on a deep level. It's in these moments that the brain finds true collaboration, where imagination and reasoning converge to create something new. Practicing these activities regularly can transform how we think and view the world. Additionally, brain training exercises, such as logic games or challenging tasks, are powerful tools for stimulating this integration. By exercising the brain in both critical and creative ways, we strengthen this internal synchronization. What more could be awakened when we start training our minds with intention? Perhaps the key to a more efficient brain lies in the mindful practice of these small yet powerful actions. Breaking habitual patterns. We often find ourselves stuck in patterns of thought and behavior, repeating the same cycles without even realizing it. Brain synchronization holds the power to break these deeply ingrained habits, allowing us to explore new ways of being. It's like freeing the mind from invisible chains, giving us the opportunity to rewrite our narrative with more creativity and intention. By disrupting these repetitive patterns, we make room for the creative potential that often lies dormant. Every thought, every choice we make can be a chance to create something new, to see the world from a fresh perspective. When the mind is freed from its routines, it becomes fertile ground for personal growth, where the unexpected becomes the new normal. Breaking away from the familiar is not easy, but it's essential for anyone who wants to evolve. The synchronization of the brain's hemispheres helps us rewire these patterns, allowing for a greater balance between logic and intuition. It's at this point of balance that we start to notice the endless possibilities that have always been available to us, waiting to be uncovered. What if we could look beyond the familiar, beyond the well-worn paths we've walked so many times? True transformation happens when we step away from the comfort of old patterns and let ourselves be guided by new ways of thinking. Perhaps it's in this space between the old and the new where we'll find the brain's true potential. Unlocking the brain's full potential isn't automatic, it's a conscious effort. Every synapse, every glial cell, every hemisphere must be engaged with intention, like strands in a complex fabric we're learning to weave. Brain synchronization, this dance between hemispheres, may be the key to a fuller life where logic and creativity work hand in hand. When we achieve this harmony, the mind expands, allowing us to see the world with more clarity and purpose. It's not just about becoming more efficient or productive, it's about living harmoniously, in alignment with our true potential. By synchronizing our thoughts, breaking patterns, and exploring the new, we open doors to a richer, more meaningful existence. The journey doesn't end here. What else might we achieve by continuing this exploration of the mind? Perhaps, by looking inward, we'll discover that the brain's greatest secret isn't just its function but its capacity to guide us on a path of constant self-discovery and growth. And what if this synchronization is just the beginning? What more can we learn as we continue down this road? Now that we've begun to unravel the mysteries of the mind, the next step is in your hands. What will you do with this knowledge? Maybe the key to a new way of living lies in putting everything we've explored into practice. The journey continues, and what awaits is the awakening of even greater potential.